Okay.
So which one's the gong button?
Which one is what?
The gong button?
The gong button? What do you mean the gong button?
Don't we have one of those?
I don't know. Do we have a gong button? Oh, we're streaming in black. What the world? Wait, that's not the right button. Let's try this again. There we go. Now we're live on TV. Live from the AOC studios, deep in the heart of downtown Lafayette, Louisiana. It's fun. It's excitement. And he's back. It is the final show. Why am I doing a show with a hat on? It's the final show of year number 7 of 124 East Main. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a very cordial welcome to the 124 E Main Studios. I am Ian Ozan, your humble host. Happy you are here with us this evening. And for the first time in almost a year, and I think the last time you were here with us was either the last show of year 6 or the first show of year 7. I forget which.
I forget too.
You forget that. Well, it's easy for you to forget because you've got so much going on. Artemio Enriquez is back on the show. It took him long enough, but he is here. And something else we've not done for a long time, where you're streaming online tonight at ustream.tv/the124emain. So if you're out there watching, tell your friends, tell your Auntie M and Toto too that they can tune in and they can watch the show wherever they are in the world. Artemio, welcome back to this loony bin we call AOC.
Thank you. Weren't a couple of the broadcasting companies supposed to expand on their horizons, and they were supposed to expand their channel of AOC content?
Well, that was the talk. And this has been the talk for a while because AOC has had enough programming to where we can do an AOC 3 or an AOC 4. Though I don't know where that is right now, and considering that there may be 2 people watching us on AOC 2 right now, I highly doubt that.
The dose. That's what we like to call it every once in a while.
So what?
I said the dose.
Oh yes, dos. AOC dos, as your friends down in Mexico would say it. But we are on the air tonight, and you've not done this. Well, before we get into the phone number and that stuff, tonight is the last show of our 7th year.
Already? On
the air on AOC. Matter of fact, Monday's the 15th. Tuesday will be 7 years to the day that 124 E Main signed on.
That makes me feel old.
It should, and it should make Nick Mayoll feel old. It makes me feel old because looking back at that at those clips, and they're on YouTube, by the way. That first show is on YouTube. That first season is on YouTube. Watching those shows makes me realize how young I was and how slim I was. There's a lot of it.
About 30 or 50 pounds lighter.
More closer to the 50 pounds. And hey, you don't have much room to talk. But then again,
I'm in the 30 range. So.
But then again, if you think about it, we've gained a lot more than just weight over the course of the last 7 years. We'll get to that in a second. But before we do anything else, because it's been a long time since both of us have had a chance to do this, if you want to call in on the show tonight, the phone number is right there. You want to help me do the Vanna White? 366-8950. That is the phone number. Oh, wait, I'm pointing to the wrong side. There we go. It's actually under you right there. 366-8951. That is the phone number for you to get in. We are live. It is, there we go, June the 13th, 2015. And again, we are live. Date, phone number right about here. And of course, tonight's topic is Artemio's return. It's also our year-end show, end of our 7th year. Next Saturday night, we will kick off year number 8. Season number 11 of 124 East Main. It'll be officially it's volume 8 of 124 East Main. This year has been kind of a wash in terms of the show because we've had so much of the stuff going on between ice hockey, between football, between other stuff that has just popped up. We really haven't been here all that much.
Besides our own lives?
Well, that too, and our own lives. That has kind of gotten in the way of things as of late. And this time last year, we returned to Saturday nights, which you were part of our big Saturday night run back in the old days, back in the first 3 years we did 124 East Main. And I thought Saturday nights would work, but nobody called. And it seemed nobody was watching. And you know why?
Everybody's out in bars.
Other than that, apparently nobody got the memo. Because somebody tonight on Facebook asked when I posted you were on the show.
How many years has it been since you were supposed to send a memo?
A year. It's been exactly a year because we moved. Someone asked, when did you move your show from Monday to Saturday?
Oh, yeah.
Which kind of surmises everything that has happened over the last year and why nobody's been watching. But
I haven't even been watching, so it's okay. People.
You live in Opelousas. You have an excuse, though. But we have, I think 2 shows left on Saturday nights. And then we move to Tuesdays. Mark Pope and the Talkmeisters will be running his final show, not this coming Tuesday, but next. As Mark would say, this Tuesday is his penultimate show, and then his final show will be on June the 23rd. June the 30th will be an off night for both Mark and yours truly. That Tuesday night, I don't know if it will be a best of the Talkmeisters or what will be running. But the next week, which should be June the 7th, 124 East Main will move to Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock. We will I don't want to say inherit or take over the Talkmeisters time slot. It just doesn't sound right because that is Mark Allen Pope's slot. We're just going to be borrowing it for the time being because he's been there for so long.
Until we decide to switch again to a Saturday night, probably.
No, that ain't going to happen. If we switch again, the show's going to be canceled completely. Which, moving to Tuesday night is going to be the writing on the wall as to whether or not the show will be canceled, just so all of you know. But 124 East Main will be moving back to Tuesday nights. Maybe Artemio can start coming more often. Maybe Tyler Francois, Nick Mayon, and the rest of the old cast of characters can start coming in more often. But again, in 3 weeks from now, we are moving to Tuesday nights, starting July the 7th, Tuesday night, July the 7th, 9 o'clock, right here on the Acadian Open channel. Well, actually, we're on AOC Dos right now. We'll be moving to AOC Uno, channel 15.
The one, only.
Which back,
not the only one.
Which back in the day, we started on AOC 2, and we kind of fell to AOC 2 because of a screw-up on my part back in December. We forgot to put in for series allocation. But we'll be on AOC Uno starting in July the 7th.
First call.
And we've got a phone call. Caller, you're live on 124 East Main. Good evening.
Yes, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Yes, sir. The sole purpose of your programs are basically to inform Acadians and invite everybody to come on your show and give their opinions and all those things. The agenda for July, is it booked?
The agenda for July,
we can check. Let me check right now.
Yeah, Artemio's going to check the calendar.
I don't think we have anything.
No, we're not booked.
We're open.
Well, what do you have? We're open.
I was saying, have y'all ever do any talk shows on like the UFO phenomena, anything like that?
On what?
Any of those type of issues?
On what phenomenon?
UFOs.
Oh man, you know who would have been great for that show?
Who?
Dr. Cosmo.
Yeah, Cosmo would have been fantastic for that. Bless his soul. No, we've never done shows on UFOs. We've discussed them, but we've never dedicated an entire show to UFOs.
Right. That would be good. I'm just suggesting that because you know that the UFOs, the Vatican, those son of a guns, they're all here. They're all floating right over the United States, waiting to be made known. Mm-hmm.
Have you had an encounter with a UFO?
All over the place. They're just hovering right over the United States all day long, trying to get us to wake up and say, "Hey, you want us to help with farming?" You know, and a lot of those people that were on your show, I think, are really you got a hippie show going on, bro. I like your show.
Thank you.
A lot of people that would like to be on your show. I know you're supported by donations. I know where that studio is. I appreciate y'all very much. And they supposedly in September 23rd is either going to be the rapture. If it is, I'll be seeing you in the next show.
Yeah, I thought that was September 23rd, 2011 that was supposed to happen.
The 23rd of September is supposed to be the end of Daniel's 7 weeks. So you tell me what's going to happen.
Well, we'll find out. If we're still here on September 23rd, then we'll know for certain.
Checkers.
Well, all right. I appreciate the phone call.
Okay, I appreciate you, fellas. Have a good weekend.
You too. Take care. Bye.
Always grateful for the callers.
Absolutely. Now, that's a topic that
we never discussed. We never. Well,
we've done an entire show. The thing with UFOs, though, is how do I describe it? Some people have seen them. Some people haven't. As a matter of fact, over at the Real Job, we get calls all the time about objects that are in the sky that no one knows exactly what they are. We don't see them, so That might be an interesting topic to pursue.
Hey, why wouldn't we explore that topic? In a coming up show.
Maybe we can find Art Bell and bring him in. Do Coast to Coast AM on AOC. Special edition of 124 East Main.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you guys have some topics that you guys want to cover, or you're interested on, just give us a call. We might hit you up on
it. Tonight's a season-ending show, so it's kind of open. This is almost, and it's also kind of a precursor to our Hangover special, which everything is off the table, and there may or may not be beer involved.
I know how the precursor to hangovers are.
Well, you know that all too well, my friend. Speaking of, no, I'm not going to make the alien baby joke because you're a U.S. citizen, and by the extension, Axel's a U.S. citizen. Since the last time you've been on the air, you have had a son.
Yes.
Axel Vicente Enriquez. First off, on air officially, congratulations.
Thank you.
How's the kid doing?
He's great. I mean, he's the cutest thing. I don't think I don't think I ever expected this much love for such a little thing.
Good news is he looks like his mama. Otherwise, he'd be up a creek.
Yes. Well, I was actually pretty cute when I was a kid, so.
Yeah,
some people will say I'm still cute.
Yeah, right.
I am,
Yeah, go ahead, rub that in. I'm trying to pull up a picture of the kid because I forgot to put it. Oh, there we go. This is the famous picture. Let's see. Go ahead and zoom in on that shot. And that's right. We have no camera person. Let me get up and zoom in on, or do a physical zoom in. There you go. There's the. Unfortunately, it's not focused, but that's Axel Vicente right there.
And you got a message
through. Yeah. So there you go. Sorry for the butt shot there. But yeah, that's Axel. That's him. He's now what? 7 months? 6 months? 7 months?
He's 5 months. He's gonna be 6 by the end of this month.
That's right, because he's a December baby.
Yes.
So you did good. You did good. And the other picture that's in the phone, Lieutenant Clay Higgins. There you go. Yeah, there you go.
For some reason, he started to look awfully a lot like Grant with the balding pattern and the baby fat.
Are you talking about Axel or Lieutenant Higgins?
No, Axel.
Yeah. We just got a text in from our good friend Tyler. He says, I can't do much by way of phone call tonight, so I'll text my 2 cents. We'll get to that in a second. Caller, you're live on 124 Remain.
Yes, sir. I want to make one more point. I apologize, fellas.
Mm-hmm.
They had if you want to look up something very interesting because you have access to the internet. They have a debut. Something that people did not figure out the way people behave. They've discovered this on a NASA computer. It's called Silent Weapons for Silent Wars.
Silent Weapons for Silent Wars.
Right. They have all these. This shouldn't be talked about, but you can't talk about it now. That's the NASA program to subconsciously program you with high-powered, all these big towers you see going everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Third World War right there.
Okay. We appreciate the call. We'll look into it.
Thanks, sir.
All right. Bye-bye.
I noticed a lot of people, a lot of small airplanes had some problems with those towers, like crashing into them. So I don't know what to deal with that. Because sometimes those towers just pop out of nowhere, and a lot of the dust croppers and stuff, they actually crash into them.
Only tower I'm familiar with is Tower Records. Tyler checks in. Tyler was supposed to be with us tonight, but he can't join us. He's just getting back in from Texas. He swam his way back in. He says, movie review, Jurassic World was a decent movie. It's worth the watch. Hating on LeBron and the Cavs, pulling for the Warriors. We'll definitely do.
How can you hate on the Cavs?
We'll get to that in a second. Definitely do his best to catch some episodes once we're back on Thursday nights. He's hoping to be.
Who's watching the World Cup?
I think you might be the only one who's
watching. Did you see that? the last couple of games that they've been on, oh, those are awesome.
I mean, here's the thing, and we were talking about this earlier, and a lot of people were discounting Cleveland, saying that it was LeBron's team, that it was just LeBron, it was really him carrying the team, and he wouldn't be able to win it. But you also have to remember that the Splash Brothers, Klay Thompson and Stephen Curry, at some point they're going to hit a dry spell with their three-point shots, and that's exactly what happened.
No, which is the Cleveland team has been playing really good defense, and I mean, there's no streak that you can end with those 3 points. That just means you're that good of a team, and that's your average. Because if you've been hitting those 3 points or the field goal percentage for that much of for that amount of time, for what is it, like 6 months?
Yeah,
of the regular season, then that's not having a lucky streak. That's having average.
I didn't say it was a lucky streak, but you figure for as good as they've been, they were going to have a letdown at some point.
There's a reason why they're on the NBA Finals and why they dominated the Western Conference. I mean, in the Western Conference, there's not a doubt about it that they're the best conference. Because
absolutely. Look at the East. How many teams finished above 500 in the East? Only 4.
Exactly. And I mean, you look at the who had the Warriors beaten.
We forgot something in the back. The owl. I just realized it's not on set. While you get the owl, let's go to the phone lines. Caller, you're live on 124 East Main. Caller, it's you. Go ahead, turn down your TV. The 534 number, it is you. Now, I'm wondering if this is someone who is calling the show and is waiting. The number that came up was Nicole Brown. It was a 534 number. If that is you and you wanted to call in, call us back. The owl has a prominent position and it's doing a good job bisecting us both in the meta monitor and on camera. Nice set placement there. But again, if that was you calling in and they're trying to get in on the show, call us back. We'd love to hear what you have to say. But going back, but the thing with the Warriors is a lot of people discount the fact they're a good defensive team as well. You think of Klay Thompson, you think of Stephen Curry, you think of them as three-point shooters, you think of them as primarily an offensive team. But this is a squad that can beat you defensively as well. They're doing a good job of keeping teams from getting quality shots, and that's part of the reason why I think in 3 of the 4 games we've seen so far, scoring has been below 100 points. Game 1, the score was 108 to 100. If the game wouldn't have gone to overtime, it would have been a sub 100-point game for both teams. You look at the game, was it Thursday night or was it the game before that on Tuesday, where entering the 4th quarter, both teams hadn't even posted 60 points yet. These are 2 teams, now granted part of that was because Golden State shot terribly, but these are 2 teams, especially with Golden State, that are fantastic when it comes to playing defense, and the Cavaliers have done a decent job with it too, but where the Cavaliers are beating the Warriors and where they're being successful is by nickeling and diming, possessing the ball, moving inside, and playing an inside game. They're beating them in the paint and drawing fouls. Blatt, their head coach, whose name is David Blatt's a former Princeton guy. He played under Pete Carrill.
Well, just thinking about the foul situation, I noticed I don't know what the deal is with the Reds, but usually whenever you have a superstar, one of the best to, either being Curry or LeBron James, usually usually take in favor of the superstar. Because you know what they can do, and it hasn't been the case in the finals.
Yeah. Speaking of UFOs in basketball, Space Jam is on TV right now. That Shelby. Oh, that's a great call, Shelby. That's fantastic. Call me live on 124 East Main.
Well, yeah, I was calling because I see you talking about the game.
Yeah.
I just wanted to tell him, I really think that the Warriors really have a better set offense.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's just that I feel that the be able to guard Stephen Curry and LeBron.
That's the thing.
Klay Thompson.
Right, and that's the one thing. I think Golden State has had their 2 games. This series is going to go 7 games. But a lot of people who said Cleveland doesn't have a chance, this game's going to go 4 or 5. I think it's going to be a closer series than that, but I agree with you. I think in the end, it'll come down to Golden State winning just because Curry and Thompson.
Yeah, I think the Cavs so far, they have been able to figure out, how the Warriors have played, the small grouping.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I think in the long run,
because of their bench.
If the coach
is, players are coming up big also.
If the coach is decent enough for the Warriors, he's going to be able to figure out a way to beat the Cavs. But I mean, it's been 4 games, so we have 3 more to go. So if he can figure out how to beat the Cavs on the small game, then we'll have a game.
Yeah, and again, this is going to go to Game 7. We will be watching a Game 7 come next weekend. The question is can LeBron sustain the momentum they've picked up over the course of the last few nights, or will Steph Curry and Klay Thompson hit their stride again? But I think you're absolutely right. The other thing we've discounted is the depth of the benches, and we're looking at 2 really good benches, including Dellavedova in Cleveland, who stepped up big time.
He's not a bench anymore. You figure out how many guys have been injured in that group. Only LeBron pretty much has been.
LeBron's the only one who's been healthy the entire way.
Yeah, from the start, from the end of the season, is the only one that's been healthy. All other guys have had to become from the bench. So the Cavs had pretty much one of the worst benches. And throughout the league, and the Warriors have one of the better ones.
Benches. Think about the productivity of what the Warriors benches doing and how they're stepping up big and how they're doing what they're supposed to do. And the Cavs. I mean, we won last game by 21 points. Mm-hmm. We won the last game by 21 points. I mean, what could they do once we shut LeBron down? Because LeBron's been scoring over 40 points a game last week.
And you have to
kept him down to 20 points last game. Like we really stopped him and our bench really stepping up.
Yeah, and they have to count on LeBron a lot. I mean, but most of the shots have been taken by LeBron, and he's only been scoring like 40-something%.
But that goes back to the genius of Coach Black's philosophy and his game strategy. You put LeBron, you have him perform so well for 3 games. They're going to zero in on him. You spread the ball out. And LeBron, and people forget this, he is good at dishing the ball out as he is taking it. The man knows how to find an open man. He knows how to run a give and go. He knows how to run a pick and roll. The guy is a basketball genius. Now, is he the best of all time? I don't know.
You can only run so many plays with LeBron until your team runs short of players. They don't have that many players in that team.
When it goes to Game 7, all they have to do is pop in a DVD of Hoosiers, learn how to run the picket fence, and boom, they're good.
Thank you for your
call. Mr. Carl, you still there? What? Caller? Going once? Going twice? We appreciate the call, caller. We thank you. I don't know who that was. Your lady is giving you some advice.
I'm sure.
Oh, thank you, Shelby. We appreciate you watching. As we mentioned, this is the first time in forever that we're streaming online at Ustream. This may be the first show in like 4 years that we actually put online. Ustream.tv/the124 for those of you who do want to check in. I need to say hello to a few people before we get started. 2 of our good friends from the Daily Advertiser. We ran into them before coming here. Jessica, I almost called her Jessica Q. I got my names confused. Jessica Golf and Paul Q. We ran into them downtown on the way here. And the fine folks over at Atmosphere, down the road from here.
They have some really good pizza.
Yeah, and we can't go into too much detail because we just violated our own rule of name dropping.
Not us, but you.
Okay, sure. It's a rule I self-imposed, but we went to Atmosphere earlier tonight, had dinner, saw Jay Steiner, our dear friend, fellow trivia maven, was our bartender. The pizza, I can't do a call to action, but I can tell you that we both enjoyed it. That is a statement of fact. You can't take that away from us. We're within our rights there. And the other statement of fact is that it's called the something Q.
BBQ?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't that. It'll
just call it the BBQ pizza.
Yeah,
and
it has pulled pork. It has pulled pork on it and a Vardy cheese. It is fan-friggin-tastic. Again, I can't do a call of action, but we enjoyed it. That's our statement of fact. Again, thank you to the fine folks at Atmosphere and Jay and Norm. How can I forget the other bartender, Norm? Thank you for taking care of us tonight, and also to Golf and Q, who we saw on the...
hey, maybe if you mention them enough, we can get a free pizza next song.
Maybe. Well, that's how Jake and Paul do their stuff. Enough name dropping, though I don't know how legal that is. That's the only problem with it. We tried getting a Q and Jessica to come on the show with us, but that didn't happen.
Yeah.
I don't understand why. It's not like they're on TV or anything. 366-8951 is the phone number. Speaking of being on TV, after the show tonight, Alex Labat and the news on... if you're on Cox Cable, if you're on LUS Fiber, it's one channel up. If you're on Cox Cable, it's 11 channels down. So keep that in mind. Yes, Papa Bear, Alex Labat, and the news coming up later on after the show this evening. 366-8951 is the phone number for those of you who do want to get in on the show. We got the basketball in the way. You mentioned the Women's World Cup.
Hockey. Oh, we can go to the soccer.
Well, it's up to you. You're co-host.
My expertise on soccer, so.
Well, you're expert.
You have that, and then you have the qualifying for the European Cup, which is I think in a couple of years or next year maybe.
Euro Cup? It should be next year because next year's.
And then they have the qualifying. Yeah, they have the qualifying.
Next year's today too.
And tomorrow, so if you have one of the soccer channels, some great games there. And then if you're into the Western Hemisphere of soccer, you have the American Cup, which is all the South American national teams and a couple from the CONCACAF teams, which is Mexico and Jamaica.
Now the question is any of this going to be rigged?
Well, it's the American Cup and there's the European qualifier.
Because FIFA is almost as bad as pro wrestling at this point. At least with pro wrestling, you know it's rigged and they're not trying to fake anybody out. FIFA, on the other hand, and this is really the first time that we've had this discussion about Sepp Blatter and the entire
process. Oh, don't get me started on that, man. Just don't.
I'm not going to get you started on the process. But my question for you is, does the United States have a chance of seeing either the 18 or 20 which World Cup is it going to be? Is it going to be 2018 or 2022?
I don't think so. I'll tell you why.
Why?
Those countries have been pouring so much money into those tournaments already. Like millions, probably billions of dollars.
Yes, Dr. Evil say millions and millions of dollars.
Yes, exactly. So if you take it away from them, they're just gonna spill the beans.
Well, which is more reason why they should be pulled.
But they're not gonna pull away because those countries. And I mean, I know most people would wish that they would take it away from Russia. And
then that's not gonna happen. It's too close. It's too close for comfort. And not only that, Vladimir's Putin on the Ritz for FIFA.
They have his T-shirt all.
Yeah, he might making FIFA feel like $1 million trooper. And he's trying hard to look like Gary Cooper, super duper. Well, I don't know. Vladimir may show up to the World Cup shirtless. It is his MO.
One thing that I saw in the Latin American countries, it was the president for Bolivia. He's a dirty player. Whenever he plays soccer, he likes to play soccer.
How dirty?
Don't get me started.
All right, we won't go there. 366-8950 is the phone number. You mentioned hockey. There's a matter of fact, is it game 5 tonight of the Stanley Cup playoffs? Chicago and Tampa Bay.
Oh yeah, look, there it is.
Yeah, there it is right now. Let's see what exactly is. Dadgummit, where's the remote? What'd you do with the remote?
It's back here, but I don't think we're gonna be able to watch it on it.
Yeah, we can. Let's see.
Is that legal?
It's not like we're broadcasting. We're just looking at the score. There we go. Chicago's leading 2-1, and we'll come back to us. You see the beauty of being able to just to switch over and see. Yeah, it's 2-1. Like the NHL is going to come after us. It's 2-1 right now. The Blackhawks leading the Lightning. We don't even know how much time is left in the game, but.
You saw it. You know how much time is left on it.
We just may have inspired some people to change the channel and start looking at hockey. But that series is going on. It's been an interesting series thus far, and hopefully that will.
NHL it always gets better during the playoffs.
It is, and of course, the Ice Gators will be back in October. A new junior hockey team is going to be here in Lafayette.
With some familiar faces.
Our good friend Killer Kaminsky's coming back and coaching the team. I've not talked to him since he's been back.
Oh, really?
Shot him a text. I've not seen him or talked to him, though.
And he should go for some margaritas or something.
Maybe so. And hopefully...
I don't think Killer is a margarita man.
I forget what his liquor of choice is, but I'm sure if you put it in front of him, he wouldn't mind it. But Killer, dear friend, former Ice Gator coach, hopefully we'll be able to get him in the studio and talk to us about the team in the near future. Jerome Macholi, of course, the head coach of the Louisiana Ice Gators, another dear friend. We'll have him in here and talking Ice Gators in the near future. That's the bad thing about being on Saturday nights. We didn't do any hockey shows this year. It's the first time in almost 3 years we had no hockey-specific shows on 124 Reese May. Now that we're moving back to Tuesday, hopefully we'll be able to do that again. After all, we do tape the Ice Gator Coaches Show at BJ's Pizza on Tuesday nights. So we just go tape that and come here and do...
leftovers. The Hangover Special?
Well, the Hangover Special is our first show in July, so...
No, I was thinking about the Hangover Special from the BJ's Pizza.
Oh, yeah. We did do a show after coming from there once, didn't we?
Probably. I don't remember.
You don't remember much of anything, do you? 366-8951 is the phone number.
I have problems with my short-term and my long-term memory.
I'm glad you said term memory because there's going to be a joke there, and I'm glad you were able to take it away from me. Oh God! What else was there? The Jurassic World movie. Have you seen it yet?
No. Kind of want to see it. Kind of don't. I didn't care for the.
Jimmy Buffett apparently made a cameo.
I didn't care for the original one, so I didn't care for him.
Jimmy Buffett made a cameo. I've not watched it yet. I'll check it out a little bit.
We got our viewers text. So if you have our cell phone,
if you know our cell number, you can text us. Yeah, I forgot.
We can post his cell phone.
Oh no! Don't do that.
Oh really?
No, don't do that.
I thought it was a public access.
It's public access, not public access to my phone number.
Oh, okay. It's not like you're gonna get more calls anyway. You barely get any.
Thank you for reminding me of our low viewership and that we're about to get canceled, Artemio. I appreciate it.
We're not gonna get canceled. We're just gonna switch schedule.
Well, no, we're like a 1980s game show. They're moving us to a different day and time, and then the writing will be on the wall at that point.
We haven't jumped the shark yet, have we?
I don't know. Is it possible for a public access show to jump the shark?
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm looking at a text message from Tyler.
No, I think we did with that. I think it was last fall during the football season. I think we might have jumped the shark there.
No, you know when we jumped the shark was year number 3 when we did the show where we figured out how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop.
Yeah.
That show used to live online somewhere, and it's not there anymore.
Hey.
I don't know what happened to it, but
YouTube has to purge every once in a while.
I don't know. It wasn't on YouTube. It was on Ustream, and Ustream deleted everything from the first 3 years. So
not enough viewers, I guess.
No,
so
they just
should have left. The stuff you should have left them.
I'm looking at text messages from Tyler. The last time I texted him individually instead of through our group text was the day the guy escaped from what was it? The Franklin Parish or Washington Parish. One of them deputies.
Dude, that was horrible.
Did they ever catch him?
I think so. Like 5 days later.
I don't even remember that. I'm saying Micah just did her live shot from the dead end of Judson Walsh in the service road. That is so Louisiana. That is our lead news story.
Yeah, that was right by Tyler's house.
Right by your house, too.
Nah, I don't know what you're talking about.
How's your deck?
It's good. It's holding up. It's a little slanted.
Oh, how do you slant a deck?
Hey, we were drinking some kind of stuff, some kind of magical water, and it just got slanted. It's muddy. I don't know if the mud had to do with it. Or
if I go to your house and your deck collapses under me, I will sue you for everything you have. I know
well, that's why I'm not inviting you anymore. If you come, that's on your own risk. That's not mine.
Well, in all fairness, I did go a couple days ago when you were still building and it held up okay. Carl, the live on 124 Main.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Also, something of interest, I noticed it does relate to everything y'all despicably don't understand, but research. This year, since 1989, 25 million people in this country have gone missing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not through natural causes.
Okay.
We're talking being taken underground to underground silos and used for food.
Mm-hmm.
You see the implication in that?
Are we talking Soylent Green as people?
We're talking you become food for the aliens that live under the ground in them caves. That was it. So it's about 50 million Americans have been taken. The old people that wander off, they wonder about having some missing children. It actually happens. They take them underground and they use them for experiments and for food. That's on the internet. It's called Dulce, D-U-L-C-E, Dulce, Mexico, underground military.
You familiar with that
place? It's all
place?
on the internet. As far as the sports goes, we'd have to see their idea what they want to do here. Facto Magico, yes, sir. But as far as sports goes, see their alien program, okay, they want to bring all those manufactured space critters from under the ground and bring those up here like Russia does.
Mm-hmm.
That's their black program. It's declassified. They just have to have the audacity to do that. Now, if they have audacity to come to South Louisiana and play ball with us, then I'll meet you on the floor, skank. But, no, that's good. I appreciate your program.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, bye-bye.
Arkansas.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
See, that's why I have a shotgun underneath my porch in case that slant becomes too slanted. I know where to go.
That's why it's slanted, so you can hide your shotgun underneath.
Yes, it's easy access.
366-8951.
That's I said too much already.
Yeah, I think you did. I think you said too much. Oh, Lord. Oh, man. We've got about, 20 minutes left in this here old show. While we got a chance, let's go ahead and jump off topic. What? Oh, nah, I'm good for now. Legislative session finally ended. You know,
really? Do we have to talk about that awful thing that happened?
That resides in the governor's office? Now, the good news is in a couple weeks, now that the session is over, our illustrious governor will announce that he's running for president. Hopefully, at the same time, he announces he's resigning. Though I highly doubt it's going to happen. The legislative session is over.
Why resign? Why you still getting a check?
He's got nothing else to do.
If I was able to do that, I would do that.
It would be our luck that a hurricane threatens us. He'll be on the campaign trail, and he's not going to be here.
Oh, did that happen before?
It's happened once in the history of the state where the governor was out of town. This is in 1947, I think, where the governor was out of town. J. Emile Verrett was the lieutenant governor, and because he was the one directing operations, had the state capital moved to New Iberia for one day when the hurricane hit. The office of the governor was moved to New Iberia, technically making it the state capital for a day.
So you're telling me whenever a hurricane hit Louisiana, the governor or the state authorities are not able to to do their duties?
Well, if the governor is not able to, then the lieutenant governor would be able to perform. But then again, it's been arguable that Governor Jindal has performed his duties at all in the last couple of years. So that aside,
some people may argue with you.
I don't know. But
call us if you want one of those people.
If you're one of those people. 366-8951. The Acadiana Press Club is going to have a legislative session wrap up 11 o'clock in the Daily Advertiser on Monday, or excuse me, noon on Monday. The Daily Advertiser. We hope you can join us. It's free and open to the public. Of course, we need new members of the press club. So if you're interested in joining, come on down. We'll tell you more about how you can join, what you need to do, and stuff like that.
How long did the legislative session has on a term or on a year?
2 months. They only go in. This session started in the middle of April and ended, I think it was right at 2 months.
So you're telling me that it had 2 months to do something and they couldn't do it, so all of a sudden they had, 12 hours to do everything and then managed to do it?
Pretty much. They sound like college students, but the thing with the budget was, and the part that disappoints me the most, is there are certain people in the state legislature.
You know who you are.
One of them is from Lafayette. One of them happens to be running for city parish president.
I hope you're looking at us right now.
Probably not. And there are certain people in the legislature who, instead of having a spine, having backbone, having, as Mick Foley would call it, testicular fortitude, to stand up to Governor Jindal and say, no, we are not doing this, and no, screw your tax the credibility, your tax pledge. We're gonna do what's best for the state. They kowtowed and sent a letter to Grover Norquist, the head of the Americans for Tax Reform, or whatever this organization is called, and essentially asked for him to give the governor permission to sign off on the budget, which had tax increases in it, most notably the cigarette tax, which will be going up, I think, 80-some-odd cents on July the 1st.
Oh, hey. Some people got it smoked.
It's true, but it's also that extra money is going to go to the state health care, which will keep it solvent for a little bit. The thing with the state legislature,
is that tax permanently going to the health care system, or
until
is it just temporary and then they'll manage to put it on something
according to the
else?
budget? It's dedicated there, but you know how the state works. I will leave it at that. But with this letter that was sent to Grover Norquist, it makes me wonder, who really runs Louisiana? Is it the people that we vote in? Or is it a lobbyist from Washington, D.C. who's never lived here, who's never voted here, who's never paid taxes here, but apparently has enough influence on the governor that he is prompting state legislators, including the dean of the Acadiana delegation and House and Ways Committee chairman, Joel Robideau, to send a letter to him to ask for permission to have the governor sign off on this.
We should have a finger moment.
We should, but I'm not into
graphics or something, just like a 3D. If you have a 3D TV, that would be great.
It would be.
Just saying, just coming out with new ideas for the show.
I think he came up with a new idea for a whole other genre of entertainment, but I'm not going to go there. Jesus, I broke another one of our rules. But back to my point.
Do we have any rules in tech by this point?
No, I think we violated every single rule of the show tonight. But going back to our point, I don't understand why the state legislature or 11 members of the legislature would send a letter to Grover Norquist and show their lack of backbone, especially someone who was running to be the chief executive of the city of Lafayette and Lafayette Parish this October. That is not good form, and it, quite frankly, just makes you look. It makes it look like that you are going to not really. It makes you look like you do not have the leadership abilities to accomplish the job that was in front of you.
You don't.
It's one thing to ask advice from someone in the state, someone within the government, someone who knows the inner workings. But for someone who has signed up politicians, including our illustrious governor, to a pledge that has no binding whatsoever on how the state of Louisiana operates, to ask him whether or not our governor has permission to sign off on a budget with tax increases in it is absolutely asinine. And that is the most disgusting part about the legislative session, is that people essentially look to folks out of state to solve their problem or to force the governor to do his job. That's unacceptable on the governor's part and the legislature's part. Thankfully, the session is over. Thankfully, the Louisiana legislature got some things right. Thankfully, the legislature understood that that discriminating against a certain class of people isn't going to fly. And they allowed Mike Johnson's bill to die. Thankfully, they understood that certain people with illnesses need a medication other than something that is derived chemically to help them battle the symptoms of cancer or cerebral palsy. And I forget what the third one in the marijuana bill was. I'm happy that folks in the legislature understood that being sent away for 20 years for possessing a dime bag is not exactly a smart way of using our money to lock people up when we have killers who are still roaming the streets.
Or people that steal from the public.
That too. We've got people who steal public tax dollars who don't get 20 years.
San Leandro Parish, I'm looking at you right now.
Thank you, Lieutenant Higgins.
Hey, I live there. I can do that. I can
do that.
point at it.
I'm happy that the state legislature managed to find some areas where it accomplished, or I should say, where it accomplished what it needed to. And by accomplish, I mean in some cases shooting down bills that never should have been brought up. But the fact of the matter is, this legislative session may have been the most disappointing to date because the legislature attempted to kick the can as far down the road as possible, and it kicked it up until the cliff, until it reached the cliff, and they finally did something. I feel sorry for our next legislature and our next governor, because Lord knows they're going to be saddled with a terrible burden they're going to have to fix over the course of the next 4 years. But with that said, the good news is our current governor is gone. We don't have to worry about him in another legislative session again. 366-8951 is the phone number.
I should have had what grinds my gears.
That's coming up in July.
Oh, hey.
No, that was a quickie version of what grinds our gears. Yeah. Yeah, I'll take some more coffee. Thank you. We've got about 10 minutes left in the show.
Glass of water?
Thank you. Yes, out of the canteen.
Yes, out of the canteen it is.
That's some high quality H2O right there.
Oh yeah, purified.
For
what is it? It doesn't say 25 years, I think.
I think so. Purified water for 25 years. That's Mississippi River quality.
That's yes.
But speaking of the Water Boy, speaking of feeling old, 17 years ago this summer, it was released. 17 years. Caller, it's you.
Yes, sir. About the Bobby Jindal, I see a big loophole for us if they just loose the federal bank and let us have our money. The federal bank is for us.
Mm-hmm.
They could give us the money. We wouldn't have to pay a cent. We'd be funded. We'd pay a sales tax like they planned. Where's that? And we'd have money.
Mm-hmm.
Just plain simple. That's what the federal bank is for us to have money. So
I don't know if it's for us to have money, but
they can just give us the red tape if they want, as long as we get the money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because in 1924 they took the federal bank away from us, and in 33 they taxed us. They stole the federal bank and gave it to the rich Rockefellers and all those people. The people that are funding all the bad chemicals that go in our water, the fluoride. They got the world order people. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So all that. So then a lot of those people don't realize that the money we have in reserve in Louisiana is money that the federal bank owes us today. So we can have all that money. We can request it. Why don't you just get the federal government to give you money? You won't have to tax us because they're funding the state. That's how it works. That's the end of it.
All right. We appreciate the call. We've got 5 minutes left in the show.
Call us. Is your take on it? You're part of the show.
I don't know.
Part of the public.
We've been very UFO-centric tonight.
Hey, don't forget those viewers.
Well, we still haven't done a show without pants. That would get us viewers.
Oh, I don't have pants right now.
The shorts, they count for something.
Hey, they're not pants.
All right. This is our last show of Volume 7. And typically we end our year of shows with what have we learned. So, Artemio, over the course of the last year, what have you learned?
Oh, man. It's awesome taking, it's awesome being part of a little person's life. That's what I learned.
Mm-hmm. That's it?
That's my big lesson.
Well, you know what we've learned here on 124 East Main? We've learned that self-promotion goes a long way in making sure people watch.
Give us a pizza whenever we go back.
We have learned that doing a show solo is difficult, especially when nobody's watching. We have learned that Tinder is not exactly a great dating app. We have learned...
You learned that from experience?
No, that was Craigslist. We learned from experience. That is the first time I've publicly made fun of myself for that. What else?
Chili fries will give you heartburn.
Jack Daniels will give you heartburn. We've learned, or did we know that before?
Probably. We learned that if you go out in Opelousas after 11,
You will get arrested.
Under 17, you'll get arrested.
We'd like to thank Katie Lopez for teaching us that.
Tell my little brother that. He's at that age right now.
We've learned that your little brother has good taste.
Hey, he's not watching the show.
He's not.
I'll agree with him.
We have learned
that the soccer authorities will go 2-4 every once in a while. And I'm not talking about the international ones. I'm talking about the local ones.
Speaking of local officials, we've learned the LHSAA is up the creek without a paddle. Caller, what have you learned this year? Caller. Going once.
Going twice. You're out.
We have learned that callers still sometimes don't understand to turn down their TV and listen through the phone. We have learned that producing a morning show is interesting, to say the least. We have learned that apparently UFOs have made their appearance here in Acadiana, unbeknownst to some of us. We have learned that Soylent Green sometimes is people. We have learned that doing the show after going to a martini event may or may not be such a great idea.
I think it's a pretty great idea. And makes the show a lot.
According to Alex Labat, it was the best show we've ever done.
He's a smart man. I trust him.
He is.
He wears a tie, so if he's allowed to wear a tie,
Alex Labat is the most trusted man in Acadiana. He and Jim Hummel rank at the top of most trusted men in Acadiana.
I would trust him. I don't know if you would, but I would.
Of course I trust the man. Of course I trust Alex Labat. That's why I watch him on the weekends.
Yeah. He has my vote for Miss Louisiana 2016. Just saying. Is that much of a trustworthy
for Miss Louisiana
2016?
Oh, Jesus. Oh, man. And we have learned that there are several of you out there who still watch us through thick and thin. For that, we appreciate you.
We thank you.
And the Blackhawks have just won 2-1 to take a 3-2 lead in the Stanley Cup Championship Series. All right. that pretty much does it for year number 7 of 124 East Main. Next Saturday night, we begin volume 8, year number 8 of 124 East Main. Will you be here?
Maybe.
I'll be here. I trust you'll be here as well. God willing, the checks don't bounce. Well, I hope I am too. If I'm not here, it means either I'm elsewhere or I'm not here. Boxing's on. Are you coming back to the place to watch? Maybe. All right. We'll figure it out once we get out of here. 30 seconds left in the show. Artemio, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for coming in. Artemio Enriquez, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you for inviting me.
The Owl is here. And again, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching tonight. Until we meet again, I'm Ian Ozan reminding you, don't take life too seriously. You're not getting out alive anyway. Good night, everybody.